Odyssey. Let's talk about it. All right. I'm guessing we all know what the Odyssey is, whether you learned it in history class or read a book on it. But if you don't know, here's a recap. So, the Odyssey is about a king named Odysseus who is trying to find his way back home after the Trojan War. And if you know nothing about that, then sorry, I can't help you. With that being said, this is a no spoiler review. Okay, so we're not going to talk anything about spoilers. It's just going to be our honest review and our take on the movie. This movie is very good. Now, I know nothing about the Odyssey or anything about Troy, or I don't know too much about the Trojan War or the fantasy Greek gods and stuff like that. But this was a great movie. It was pretty good. They literally had an Avengers level casting. Like we had Tom Holland, Matt Damon, Zendaya, Robert Pattinson, and Hathaway, Lupita Nyong'o. Like this cast was stacked. I do have one problem with it. Excuse my language. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna cuss. But this movie is long as freak. This movie is so unbearably long. Like I see movies like Endgame, the Avatar films, and even when I was watching those films, I never really felt the runtime. But man, I have never ever wanted to get out my seat and leave so bad. It was just that long. But overall, I have no picks about it. Like this movie's pretty good. Rated at 9 out of 10. Avengers level casting and stuff like that. It's just this movie was super long. Like it was just so long. Like I've never wanted to get up out my seat and just leave the theater ever sitting in a film, except for like Madam Web. But I understand why it's that long. It's a lot of story to tell. And I would say this, it's long as freak, but it was worth sitting in that chair and watching in IMAX as well. Christopher Nolan is the GOAT. I don't think he's the GOAT of the GOATs. We got Steven Spielberg, but like he's the GOAT, bruh. All right, not going to too many spoilers or just anything too deep to spoil the movie for you. There's a couple of scenes, but there's one scene where there's pigs, and I'm not gonna explain the context behind the pigs. I'm pretty sure everyone already watched, the old Odyssey or read the books or whatnot. But yeah, there's pigs, and there's a lady who does the pigs were something else before they became pigs, is what I will say, and that creeped me out. And oh my goodness, the Cyclops in this movie, like freaking just disturbing. And it does raise that question. Like Christopher Nolan, when are you going to do a horror movie? Like out of your lifetime, you need at least do one horror movie. And I don't care what this plot or story going to be about. I'm going to go see it if he ever does one. And then also every single watching the IMAX. I mean, this theater was roaring. It was so loud, from the waves to the men yelling to just the combat. Like the combat in this movie is pretty good. I mean, it's very just violent, just people swinging around swords and just. But it was all pretty good. It was just old back then time, war. There's a lot of great scenes in this movie, but I think my two favorite parts of this movie is definitely have to be, the last act, of course, where, Odysseus returns home and, he sees all these guys in his house. And I'm pretty sure we all know what happens, but yeah, he Odysseus, he's one of those ones. I will say that. I have to say the Cyclops scene because it was just kind of disturbing. Those scenes from the trailer looks like it's gonna be short, but it is the Cyclops scene and him popping out and stuff like that. It's longer than you think. It's not like, oh, something happens, boom, they escape. No, it's very kind of drawn out to how they escape and what they had to do to escape and stuff like that. Also, one more thing, there's a bigger, story. Like, take it this way. All right, if y'all don't know this, I am a Christian. I'm a man of God, and what this movie kind of showed me, it showed me that as humans, we are, as men, as humans, we are kind of inherently evil, and this movie kind of highlighted, that we should turn away from our sins, turn away from being evil. Because if you think about it, like, bro, like, the Odyssey is, it's a good movie, but like, it's basically about, you know a bunch of warriors, a bunch of, like, um a bunch of warriors who sneak into someone else's home and offer them a present like it was actual present, and basically slaughter and pillage and destroy their homeland. And like, like, that's not good. And throughout the movie, Matt Damon, him playing Odysseus, it basically, not to spoil anything too deep, but it basically kind of goes into like, oh, like, we're bad. He starts to figure it out, like, you know him planning this giant horse to bring inside their home. As the movie kind of like goes out, you start to see, like, okay, he's understanding that, that wasn't right. Like, this is bad. Like, this is terrible. Like, we're not good humans. And at the end, there's still blood on his hands, and he kind of starts to redeem himself a little bit, like, hey, I'm turning away from that. But I guess that was the bigger message. There we go. The message of just like, that we are not super good, or we're not as good as we think we are. And we all have, fallen short to the glory of God. But overall, I definitely enjoyed this film. Honestly, it made me kind of really think about humans and human nature and stuff like that. And yeah, it's pretty deep, but overall, it's a great film. If you don't mind sitting there for I don't know how long it truly is. I know it's 3 hours for sure. It's 3 hours. It felt like 3 hours. I didn't even check. It was 3 hours. But I'm pretty sure it's 3 hours. If you're willing to sit, which is honestly worth it, if you're willing to sit 3 hours long to watch this film, you should go watch it. This is definitely a 9 out of 10. I recommend anyone going to go see it. Go see it in IMAX, please. In IMAX, it's so much better. And yeah, if you have not checked out Odyssey in theaters, please go check it out on the biggest screen near you, hopefully IMAX, and enjoy your time.